What is going on, everyone? So today I'm going to show you how I created this very simple image slider or image gallery style effect. So pretty much, if you haven't seen the previous video, I already created this cool little polygon shape hover animation effect. And then when I click on any of the images, we got the image pop up here. And then we got the arrow. So I click through the next. You can see that we go through all of the images. And then again, if I start from the beginning, go back through, and then now we have the images from the left and right. And then also, if I were to shrink this, you can see that's mobile. You can see that the images are like this. And then also, if I were to just go and shrink it all the way to the phone width, we can go through here and then basically click through every single images. So this is pretty much the image gallery right there. So if you do want to learn how I created that, then definitely watch this video all the way to the very end. And this is essentially a part 2 to this video. So the first part, I already filmed that tutorial, and I'll put a link to that video in the description down below. So simply just click on that if you want to learn how I created these little polygon hexagon shapes right here with the hover animation. And then for today's video, if you're following along with the previous series, we're going to learn how to create this one right here. So definitely stay tuned for that. And then also, this is part of an overall website design that I'm creating. So I have the nav bar up here, and then also this cool effect with the email validation, basically showing like that. I've had all those tutorials. I have a playlist. I'll link that in the description below if you want to see the previous videos. But without further ado, let's get into the code editor and start making this image gallery. Alright, so here we are on my code editor. I'm using VS Code, and like I said, this is the part 2 to the image gallery tutorial. So we already created the initial, this part with the hover animation effect. So again, if you have not seen this already, then make sure you watch this video second. So make sure you watch that part 1 first in order to create this. But basically, when we click on it, nothing happens. So now we have to add the JavaScript to this so that we can get that action going. And before we do get into that, we will need to install a or add the font awesome. So pretty much, if you haven't used this before, basically go to fontawesome.com. You just have to create an account, and pretty much when you go to the right side, click on your animation or your little icon, and all you really need is the font awesome CDN. So I don't have a pro subscription, but pretty much it's the one right here that you can just copy this. So copy this link here. And let me go shrink that out. And then we just simply have to put this up into our head tag of our index HTML. So I'm gonna add that there. And now we have this like super crazy long one. So pretty much that's there. Now save that. And let me exit off so I don't need this anymore. And then let's go. And the HTML is pretty much already done from the previous tutorial. So we don't have to do that again. But if you don't want to watch that and you just want to just see what I did to create the image gallery, then you can probably pause the video and then I'll go like really slowly. But that's pretty much, this is the index HTML right here. So it's basically 7 divs, and we have a different image photo with 7 images, but basically it's this top one, then the heading H1, then services, and then each individual div is like this: service cell, gallery, image, and then the text there. So the image or the HTML is already done from the previous tutorial. So this part, let's go ahead and let's go to our app.js, and I want to scroll down to the bottom, and let's just go under here really quick. Let me save that 1 second. And let's go ahead and let's just start messing around with the image gallery. So this is what is going to enable us to click on the image and for it to pop up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is create, let's do actually comments so you can see it, image gallery. And pretty much I'm gonna so let gallery images, I'm gonna set this equal to document. So now we're targeting, so document query selector all, and then parentheses, quotes, and we're gonna do dot services dash cell. So right now what we're doing is we're targeting all of these services dash cells HTML text. So right here, we're targeting this one, this one, this one, all the way down to the bottom with this query selector all. And then next, I'm gonna press enter. I'm gonna do another one. Let get latest opened img, and then just semicolon there. And then we're gonna do let window width. I set that equal to window dot inner width. So we're gonna use this eventually, and this is basically the measurement of the entire screen. So now let's create our function. So gallery images. So now we're targeting again the services cell dot for each. Now we're going to loop through these, and we're going to put a function, and then parentheses, and we're going to have two parameters. We're going to have the image and then the index. So within the between the two parameters, put curly braces and then press enter. And now what I'm going to do is create a thing called image. So this image is the first parameter. I'm going to do dots. I'm going to do on click, and we're going to set that equal to a function, parentheses, space, curly braces, press enter, and then I'm going to enter down more. We're going to do get latest open image, and that's equal to index plus 1. And we're going to be using this later in the code, so you'll be able to see what that actually does. But now we need to target and create our own HTML. So let's go and create a variable like container equals to document dot body. So now we're targeting the entire body. And then we're going to do let's new image img window. So this is just a name. I'm just naming it. These are just random names I'm creating to save them as. I'm going to set it equal to document dot create elements. So now right here, we're creating a new element. So this doesn't exist on the current HTML right now. So I'm going to do parentheses and dot div. So now we're creating a div with this code right here. And then what I'm going to do is target the container, which is the entire body of the page. And we do dots, and I'm going to append child. So I'm going to append this new img window. And now let's go ahead and save this and then press enter. And now what I want to do is create a class on this new div that we just created. So I want to do new img window. We're going to do dot set attribute, and with set attribute you pass in parentheses with quotes, and we're going to do a class. So now we're creating a class, comma, and I want this class to be called, so put quotes, I want it to be called img dash window. So now we just created a class on this div called img dash window. And now let's do new img window dot set attribute again, and this time we're going to do on click, comma, and then I want to put close image here. So essentially what's going to happen is this is going to enable us to close the image out once we click on it, which will create the function later in the code. And then we're going to do create the new image now. So this, let's actually let's add the CSS really quick. So let's go to our gallery.css file, and I'm gonna scroll above the media queries. So right above the media queries we got right here, and let's go and target the class that we just created. So dot img dash window, and then curly braces, and let me go up to the thing just to label it, and let's just do pop up window when clicked. Okay. So now I want to make a width of 100 viewport width. I want to do a height of 100 viewport height. Then I want to have a background, and I want it to be RGBA of 0, 0. So basically 3 zeros, and then 0.8, which is the last thing, which is the opacity. And looks like I have a parentheses, shouldn't be there. Semicolon. I want the position to be fixed. Top to be 0, left to be 0, z.index, I want that to be 100. So just make sure everything is above these current images right here. We do cursor pointer, and then we're gonna do display flex, justify content, centers or centering the contents, and then line items, I want that to be centered as well. And then under here, let's create the class for the pop-up image. So right now you can't see it, but basically, let me just save everything. So if you go here, you can see that we just created this right here. So the image window, it's like black because of this background here. So if I were to change this to like 0.1, click on any of the images, well, let me refresh it. You can't really see, it's like way too light to see anything. So let's do 1. So now it's just straight pitch black. So basically, if I click on any of these images, which are the .services-cell, which is right up here, the gallery images basically, which again we're targeting with gallery images, and we're going through them all, and pretty much we create the div, and I'll show you this in the inspect so you can see what's going on. But basically, so right now if I inspect it, these are the cells, right? So this is, you know, image 1, 2, 3, etc. So if I go down to the bottom under the script, the app.js code, when I click on this, it just turned black, and it created this new div right here that we just made earlier. So let me zoom this out. So as you can see, this new div has the class image-window, and it has onClick equals close image 2 parentheses. So this part doesn't do anything yet because we haven't created the function, but this class image-window, which is the div that we created right here, let new image equal document that create element div, and then we append this to the window, which is again the containers, the entire site, and then we added the class img window, and then also on click. So you can see there, that's where we have that. So that's the first code. So let me just refresh this and get that away. And now let's add another class. So this is gonna be the pop-up image. So dot pop-up dash img, and you can't see the image yet when you click on it, but for now I want the max height, I want this to be 80 viewport heights, and then the max width, I want this to be 80 viewport width, and then just basically z-index, I just need it to be bigger or higher than the image window. So I just put 200. It could be literally 101, but same concept. So that way, when I click on the image, you can actually see the image being in front of that. So now let's add some more JavaScript code. All right, so now let's create, let's see here. Let's new image or img, so that equal to image dot first element child, and then we're gonna clone this. So we're gonna do clone node, and the reason we're doing this is because in the future code that we're gonna write, whenever you click on the image, it instantly removes the code. So we're cloning it that way that it'll stay there. And this took me quite a while to figure out, but trust me, you need to have this there or it's not gonna work out. At least the way I'm writing this. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna target new image window. So let's do new img window, which we had above. We'll do dots, and now we're gonna append another child. This time we're gonna put new img, which is what we just created up here, which is this first element child clone node, which if we go, and you're probably wondering what the heck is this first element child image, what does that mean? So we have the parameter here, image. So basically it's the services cell. So whatever image we click on, and it's taking the first element, so the first child. So if we go back to our HTML, here's services cell, and it's gonna target the image. So it's gonna give you back this code right here. So if I were to go and actually, let me just go in console.log new img. So right now, new img, which I'm console logging this value right here. So if I go and inspect, and I go to console, I click this, it just showed me the image src gallery image 5. So let me zoom this out so it makes more sense. So just to know what we're doing. I don't want it to be that big, but All right, let me inspect console.log. So pretty much any of these images I click on is going to give me back the value. Click. So I click on the first image. It's going to say image src, the entire HTML tag, which I said earlier is this literal entire thing. So we're getting this entire tag back when we click on the image with this code right here. So that's what that is right there. And then let me refresh this and get out of it. And then we have new image window, and we're appending new image to that. So that new image window is the div we created above, which I'll show you again once we finish this code. But basically now we're gonna do new img, and we're gonna add a class. Actually, we're gonna do class list, and we're gonna remove the services dash cell underscore img. So now we're removing the class that is on this image tag. We're removing this class, okay, with this code right here. I'm gonna do new image, so new img dot class list. We're gonna do dot add. We're gonna do pop up dash img, and that is the class that we just created in the CSS, which is right here. And then we're gonna go and do new img dot set attribute, and I'm gonna put an ID, and then I'm gonna set it to current dash img, and then we hit save. And now if I click on an image, you can see that it currently shows the image, and it has a 80 viewport width, heights, and the z-index is 200. So I refresh this, click on this image, you can see it there, fresh, etc., and it should work for basically every single image that we have created. And again, if your image isn't fully width landscape, then it's obviously going to be the size that it can fit. But that's basically it. And then I want to let me change this back to like oh no, let's see, go back to CSS and then just do 0.8, and now you can see it had that cool little fade background where you can kind of see through it. But that's basically it. But right now when we do click here, nothing happens. So now let's go ahead and let's create some more JavaScript. So I'm gonna go back under this. So I want to create this function that pretty much when you click on the image, essentially when it loads up, the arrows will show up. So basically I'm gonna target new img, I'm gonna do dots, I'm gonna do on load, set that equal to function, parentheses, then curly braces, press enter. And then within here, I'm gonna say let new next btn. So this is the name I'm calling it for the next button, so the button on the right. And I'm gonna set this equal to documents dot create element, parentheses, and we're gonna create an a tag here. So I'm gonna semicolon. Then I'm gonna do new next btn dot inner HTML, and I'm gonna set this equal to, I have this font awesome icon that earlier when we added this to our head tag up here, this is what we're gonna do. So this is basically, it's like an arrow. So I'm gonna go and let me just copy this in. So if you don't have it, basically do the I tag with the class of FAS space FA dash chevron dash right, and then I'll put space next, and then just copy that code right there, and then that will pretty much showcase the right arrow icon. And then I want to do is target the container now, and I'm going to append the child of the new next btn. And like I said earlier, I'm going to inspect it to show you what really happened. So whenever I click on the image, inspect, and if we go down, you can see earlier this was the first block of code that we had, right? So this created the div class image dash window on click close image that we saw right here, right? And then this code right here created this next tag, which is the img src, and it showcased whatever image I clicked on. So this is image 1. And then you can see we have the class pop-up dash image, and then the ID, which would be current dash image. which you can see here again, class, pop-up image, ID, current image. So that's where we created that. So now here, let's go back to the, let me exit off this. Let's go back to our button. So let's enter here. And now we're gonna do new next btn dot set attribute. And I want to add the class. So we're adding a class now. And I want this class to be img-btn-next. So this is just the class name I have for the next button. And then we'll do new next btn dot set attribute parentheses, and basically I want to have on click, and I want to have change img, and I'm gonna put in parentheses the number 1, which you'll learn later what that means. But basically we'll create a function that says if it's 1, you'll go to next, and then for the previous button we'll set it equal to 0. So now let's go ahead and create the previous button. So I mean, we pretty much could copy and paste this. So let me go copy, paste, and then all we need to do now is just change the word next to prev. So prev, make sure I spelled that right, and then go down here, prev, and then make sure we change this icon, this I to the left, and then here take out the next, prev. Same with this one, prev, and make sure this one says prev the next. So any word that says next, make sure you change it, because if you don't, you're gonna go through the code and it's not gonna work, and you're gonna go crazy trying to figure out why I didn't. And then last but not least, change the img image, set that to 0. Now we're gonna save that there. So right now nothing happens because we still need to write our code. So let's go outside of these curly braces right here. And what I want to do is create the function called close img. And what this function is basically going to do is remove the basically the window and then also the button. So that's basically the entire, all of this right here is basically going to be removed. So let's do document dot query selector, and then parentheses, I'm going to do dot image dash window. So that again is the black faded screen we see. And then we're going to do dot remove with parentheses, so that way it removes this thing right here. And this should be query selector, so not query selector all. And then I can pretty much copy this 2 more times and just change the image window to, let's do image dash btn dash, do next first. Let's do next, and then image dash btn dash preview or prev. So there is our closed image function right there. And now we need to create the actual change image. So right now nothing is going to happen because, well, you can't change anything. So let's go ahead and let me actually add the CSS for the arrows so that way you can actually know what's going on. So let's go to gallery.css. So under the pop-up img, let's do .img-btn-next, curly braces, I'm going to do display of block, do a font size of 2 rem, we'll make the padding, I want to have 8 pixels by 30 pixels, and then I want to do the border radius, so make it like rounded, 4 pixels, background color, I want this to be just 111, so just 111 times, so 6 times, and then position, I want this to be fixed, and then we'll do a top, make this 48 viewport height, and then I want to do z index, let's do 500, and then I'm going to do color, and I have the variable dash dash white. So again, if you don't have that, that's in the root of the style.css, which basically is, it's literally just hashtag FFF. So just put color white, it doesn't matter. I'm just using this for my example. And then do text transform. Actually, we don't need that because it's a image, and then cursor pointer, because originally I had it as text before, so maybe I take that out. Now let's just make sure right 0. And now you can see we got a little button right here. So now let's go ahead and create the previous button. And the reason is I'm going to copy and paste this basically. And let me see, actually, should be able to just go straight here and just add it like this. So let's just do dash btn dash prep. Let me make sure this works. Click on something. All right, so it looks like it's not working like I wanted to. So let's actually go ahead and just go under here and then just copy this code. And then let me just copy paste this into here. Save that. And looks like I need the rights to be removed. Okay, that's why. Yeah. So now we got our arrow images right here. They're nice and chilling. And they don't do anything yet because, well, we haven't added much, but basically they're there. And then let's do the hover effects. Let me do that img-btn-prev. And actually, let's do next first. Next, and do colon hover. And then within the curly braces, I want this to be background color, and I should put hashtag 282828. And then transition, I want this to be 0.2s, and let's just do ease out. And pretty much just copy and paste this for the previous button, but actually we should be able to img-btn-prev hover. Let's just make sure everything is working properly. Oh yeah, I forgot the comma, that's why. And there we go. So pretty much it's nice and it looks just like what we had earlier in the beginning with the hover effect. But when we click on it, nothing happens. But you did notice that when we click outside, that the image goes away, or anywhere in the image basically. And again, that is because of our closed image function right here. So it's pretty much, it's literally removing the image window from the HTML. So if I were to go and inspect this, you see this div right here, this div image window, which is under the script. I'll click off of it, boom, it just disappears, basically gone. So now it's non-existent. You click on it again, it's back here, click through it, and it completely disappears, which is what this function right here is doing. So now we are almost done. Now we just have to create something that's a function that pretty much, whenever I click on the next buttons, it switches to the next image. So I'm gonna do here and go function, call this change img, and just put the parameter change in here, curly braces, and we're gonna do document.query selector, parentheses, and then we're gonna target hashtag current-img. And then I'm gonna do .remove. So we're gonna remove the current image that we're in, and we're gonna replace this with the image that we end up going to. So you'll see that in a second. But so let's go and create let's get img window equal to document.query selector, parentheses, and we're going to target .img-window, which is again the div with everything in it. And now we're gonna go create a new variable, let new img, so that equal to documents.create element, parentheses, and we're gonna do .img here. So now we're creating a new image tag. So based off the image tag we have here, let me see at the bottom, we're creating a new, completely brand new one right now with this code right there. So that's why it's called new img. And now I want to take the get image window, and I want to append the child of this new image. So I want to append this new image tag to the get image window, aka the image window div with the class of image window right here. And now let's do let calc new img. So we're just creating that right there. So just leave it like this. And we're going to say if change, which is what we have up here in our parameter, if this is equal to 1, curly braces, we're going to set calc new image, and say equal to get latest open img plus 1. So we have this created way up here, get latest open image ig, and also have the index plus 1 up here. So now we're actually going to use this. And now what we're going to do is, under that, if calc new image is greater than gallery images dot length, which is, again up here, the services cell, we're going to go curly braces, calc new img is equal to 1. So now, outside of this if, we're going to do an else if. And we're going to do parentheses, and we're going to say change if it's equal to 0. So going backwards now, calc new image is equal to get latest open image minus 1. And then we're going to do if calc new image is less than 1, we're going to curly brace that. We're going to say calc new image is equal to gallery images dot length. And then outside of those two braces here, we're going to say new img, which is what we created above the new image tag. We're going to set the attribute of src, and we're going to do quotes gallery slash img, put a dash, then go outside the quotes and press enter, press the plus sign, and then press enter again, and put calc new img. So this is essentially the number that we're calculating based off of what position we're on in terms of the image window, the services cell. And basically, depending on what that number is, it's going to be 0 through 7, or basically 0 through the length of the cell, depending on how many you have, since we have 7 images. And it's going to change that corresponding here. And then we're going to do quotes.jpg. So now what this line is doing is pretty much the folder, all these images are saved to, gallery slash img dash 2 or 1. It's saved to some number. So the calc new image is that number, and this right here code is calculating whatever image we're on, and it's just updating that number. So this would be the first image, the next one would be the second image, and this would update with the 2, which would in turn link this entire code right here. This would form that src, and then in turn that would display on the screen. Now we have new img dot set attribute, in parentheses we have class. So now we're adding a class. We're going to do pop-up dash img. And then last one, we got img dot set attribute, parentheses of id. We're going to do current dash img. And then the last but not least, we're going to do get latest open image equal to calc new image, then semicolon. And now if everything worked out, let's go back to our websites and let's click on an image, click next, and boom, you can see we got it through there. So that's the next button, and then we got the previous button, and we just go through really fast to make sure everything's working. It knows exactly what image we're on. And then I'll show you, if we zoom or we shrink it, you can see it's like this. Now you can optimize the buttons. So basically, in terms of mobile responsiveness, you could shrink these buttons. But for this sake, I mean, it looks pretty good on my screen. But all you would need to do is just add the media query and then just change the padding to like 6 and then like 26. So I think I have my code. Let me see. Yeah, I don't think I changed it on here because it's pretty much standard. It looks pretty good to me. Basically, we click out here, and let me show you really quick what that code is showing, because you're probably like, whoa, how did this happen? So when I inspect it, if I go, now you can see it's on image. So this is, again, this is the image window we created way up here, right there. And then you can see the image gallery, which we created here. And then these are the next buttons. So these are like just down here. But down here, this code, this specific one right here, this line with the src gallery dash image calc. So what happens, watch the img-1 right here. So when I click next, it updates to image 2. You can see we still have the class pop up and then current image right here, which we have added there. So if I were to click back again, click on div, you can see we have all these tags. So basically click next, it adds this to it, and then next, and then boom. And if you were to change or optimize this with like a X or something, and you click next, nothing is gonna happen, because if I go into this image at the bottom, image -x1 doesn't exist. So you can see the calc is the 1, but the X is here, so that's a typo right there. So that's pretty much how that code is working right there. So let me exit out and just double check one more time, make sure everything's working, click on anything. And this is pretty much how I created the image gallery using JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. So again, if you have not seen the previous tutorials on how I created this part of the websites, and go and get started, everything's mobile responsive. Like click out here, then also you got the little hamburger menu, extra the mobile responsive effect. If you want to learn how to do all that, again, go down in the description below. I'll have a playlist to all those videos. And aside from that, if you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already to the channel. Comment down below any other tutorials or helpful things that you want to see, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.